Greetings and salutations, my friends, and welcome to our very first TBR video of 2024. I cannot believe a new year has started, but I think the air is full of promise, good vibes, and just new beginnings in general. I am very excited about a new year because 2023 was a little bit ranked. Señores, se acabó el 2023 y venimos con todo, señores. Let me give you a rundown of exactly what's happening today. Every month, what I typically do is I would look at my TBR card. It's right here. Look at the books that are currently sitting on the TBR card from the previous month. I take out the ones that I have finished. I'll look at the ones left over and I'll go, I'll keep this, I'll remove this, maybe this one can stay, and then we'll have some sort of end result. However, we are wiping out the card for 2024 and we are starting new. We have new beginnings and so does the TBR card. Everything that currently resides on the TBR card is going to be gone. We're going to take it all from the books I have finished to the ones that I have not, and also the safeties. At the second tier of the TBR card, I have got safeties. These are books that I really want to read, but I have not gotten to them yet, and books that I could get to if maybe something on the first tier does not sound so appealing. And yet that also will be changing today, so we'll see what we end up pulling, what we end up doing. I'm hoping at least 2 of the prompts work for the 2 book club picks that I have got for Patreon. I'm saying this also in case you guys want to join Patreon because it's the start of year, and I'm just saying it could be a really good thing to join. So this is the first book club pick that we have got going on. So I'm hoping one of the prompts will fulfill this one. We'll see what happens. As always, the TBR prompt jar picks my January reads. Let's get into it. First things first, let me give you a little bit of a rundown of what I actually did finish in December. I'm also filming this in December. It's currently December 27th, so I could be finishing other things before the year's over. But out of the card picks that I had on there for December, I read these 3 books right here. So I read A Cat Cafe Christmas, which I did feature in a Christmassy vlog. The book was very good. Wildfire, not so good. And then I finally finished A Fire Endless. It was okay. I'm happy to report that we did finish some books, but everything else that currently resides on here is going off the card. It's so exciting and so intimidating. And now we go into the TBR jar of death, or luck, or unluck. It could be many of the above. First book we're going to choose for 2024. Again, we're going to choose 8 books. Hopefully it bodes well for me, but the first book we're going to be choosing is going to be this one that just fell right here. Seems like a long paper. And the very first prompt is buy a book and read it. So we are going to be buying a book today to start out the year. Very exciting stuff, if I do say so myself. And just so that you guys know that I'm not lying, there you go. I hope you can see that. Now, I don't know what that book is going to be. I have to look through my wish list and things that I am looking forward to for 2024. And then we'll buy a book, but I don't know what that is going to be. Okay, friends. So for the book I'm going to be choosing to buy and read, I'm going to go for Forget Me Not by Julie Soto, because this is one of my favorite fanfic authors, and I did not realize that she came out with a book in July of last year. I had no idea, and so I am for sure going to get this one. I loved the auction in AO3. It's literally one of my favorite fan fictions of all time. It is said to be a story where a wedding planner and her grumpy ex must work together to plan a celebrity event in this deliciously spicy and funny novel. Trying to go in not knowing the full extent of it, so I'm not going to read the rest of the synopsis. I'm going to add this to cart, and then in a turn of events, I do think I'm gonna get Spy Family Volume 10 because my hold in the library is a several month-long wait, and I do not want to wait that long to read Volume 10. And so even though this doesn't fit one of the prompts and this is not prophesized by the TBR jar, I think I am still going to get Spy Family Volume 10 so that I can read this and include this in my January TBR as well. Our second prompt for January is going to be this one right here. And this is going to be, I just dropped it, a book that matches my shirt. Now I feel like this is relatively easy because my shirt is a cream beige shade. It's got some lilac up here. It's got some purple. It's got some green. And I think this fits perfectly, my friends. I am gonna go for What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama, which is the Citadel Book Club pick for January. Now this is a literary fiction matched magical realism, and it is an ode to libraries and how a good book can change a reader's life. The book is really, really short. I think it's like exactly 300 pages. Yeah, it's 300 pages. And I believe we follow 5 different characters, 5 different POVs, and how all of these characters will, I guess, cross each other's paths, maybe through the library, or maybe each of the stories will stand individually. I am not quite sure, but I think this fits perfectly. You've got like the beiges, which it's not like an exact match from one thing to another, but I do think like the beiges and the browns are present. We have got the green. We've got the green right here. And then right here, we've got an outer rim of purple with the pink right here, which I think also matches the accent of the shirt quite nicely. So I'm gonna go for what you're looking for is in the library. Maybe not all of you will agree that this is a perfect match, but listen, I do think that as far as matches and accent colors go, I do think this is quite a good match for my current shirt. It is time for our third prompt, friends, and I'm gonna go for this. I don't know. This one's not giving me confidence. Should I switch it? No, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. Ooh, I think it works. So for this one, we have got a mythology retelling. Also, let me just show you the other one. I didn't show you. I'm like, I got to show you guys that these are true. But yes, this was the other one that matches the shirt. Okay, there we go. But a mythology retelling. I believe her Radiant Curse is a retelling of Chinese mythology. I could be wrong, but let's double check. I don't have the book with me physically yet because I ordered it last week, and with all of the Christmas shopping and stuff, I'm sure it's somewhere in my PO box. It's yet to be billed, but it should be with me in a few days. And I do believe, if I'm not, yes! Oh my god, yeah! Weaving together elements of the selection and the Ember and the Ashes with classic tales like Beauty and the Beast, Helen of Troy, and Asian folklore, Elizabeth Lim is at the absolute top of her game in this thrilling yet heart-wrenching fantasy that explores the dark side of beauty and the deepest bonds of sisterhood. So for this one, I'm going to be choosing Her Radiant Curse by Elizabeth Lim. And the book actually sounds quite good. We follow 2 sisters. One is said to be stunning, and the other one is said to not be so pretty. And the entire tale is set to be a setup where one sister has to fall in order for the other one to rise. And both of these characters enter a betrothal competition, a contest very akin to, I guess, yes, the selection. And while they are in this process, in this contest, an evil is unleashed and something that threatens to not only change the world as it is known, but to completely sever the bond between these 2 sisters. I know there are other elements in the synopsis, like their father making a deal with a demon lord or witch or some sort of demonic creature that ends up with one of the daughters being as particular looking in comparison to the other one, and she is cursed with a serpent's face, and then the other sister being married off. There are so many moving parts seemingly just based on the synopsis, so I think I'm in for a treat with this book. I can't wait for it to get here. Hopefully by the time that I'm editing this video, the book will be here so that I can show it to you physically, because the cover is quite stunning. Got the US version this time because Elizabeth Lim's other series I own in the UK editions, and so this one I did want to have in the US ones, and so quite excited about it. We're doing good, friends, because so far we've included the 2 mandatory reads I have for January on my TBR, and so now we get to choose how many other books. We've already chosen 3, so we have got 5 more books to pick. Well, and I guess one of the 3 ones I've picked is also for leisure, so we get to choose other books that we want to read that are not tied to a book club or any mandatory reading. So this is very exciting. So let us see for our next one, for our 4th prompt. There's 3 in here. Oh my god. I'm gonna choose this one. It's like really small, so I'm a little bit scared. And this one is, ooh, a romance. And I have got some really good options to choose from. So I'm not going to lie to you. I have been thinking of doing a People We Meet on Vacation reread, because I do think I could really enjoy my time with it, annotating it, and just like having a great old time. So People We Meet on Vacation is like a really good contender. I'm seeing it right here, and I do think I could put this on the TBR and be very happy with it because I quite love this book and I, again, would really love to annotate it. But maybe this should go on the safety pile. So I'm going to set this just right here so that I can remember to put that on the safety pile. So if I'm not feeling the other romance I'm going to put on my TBR, I can just choose this one. But instead, I'm gonna go for an Elsie Silver book. That's gonna make me hopefully very, very happy. And if you've already been here for a while, you'd know this is an easy choice for me. I'm gonna go for Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the single dad one that I've been wanting to read for such a long time. I love the single parent trope. I have recently watched The Holiday 2 times, and I am going to watch it a third time this week because I freaking love The Holiday. It's one of my favorite movies of all time at this point, and I think that amplifies, solidifies, and reignites my love for the single parent trope. And in this one, we follow our main character Willa, who is about to be hired as a nanny for Cade, the love interest's daughter, and he is supposed to be the grumpiest out of them all. And in fact, I think he doesn't even want her there to begin with. Working as a nanny for the world's grumpiest single dad should have been simple, except I can't keep my eyes off him, and he can't keep his hand off me, as he shouldn't, and as you should. So I'm very excited about this one. Señores, la voy a vivir, la voy a amar. I am gonna be very happy about this one, hopefully. I gave the first Elsie Silver I read, which was Powerless, 4.5 stars. So I'm hoping that Heartless will do the trick, and I will give this one 5 stars. We are 4 down, friends, and we are doing so good. I feel like the start of the year with reading is going to be freaking amazing. So for our 5th prompt, I'm gonna go for looking at the horizon, just waiting for my brain and the universe to tell me stop now. Detente, agarra tu papel, mami. An adult book. I've got so many options. Okay, so we have got an adult book for our 5th prompt. Should I go for, I'm not feeling thriller. Should I go for fantasy? Listen, the start of year to me screams like romance, lit fic, magical realism more so than anything else. What happens if we choose a memoir? Let's do a little contest. Please hold. I feel like these 2 options could be a vibe for this one. So I've got Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton, and then I've got Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. I was gonna say for Surviving Murderers, and that's not how it goes. So maybe we can read the first line or the first few lines and kind of make a decision from there. So for Everything I Know About Love, everything I knew about love as a teenager. Romantic love is the most important and exciting thing in the entire world. If you don't have it when you're a proper grown up, then you have failed. Just like so many of my art teachers who I have noted are Miss instead of Mrs. and have frizzy hair and ethnic jewelry. And then for Vera Wong, we have got, I just know it's gonna be something unhinged probably. So chapter 1, Vera Wong Juju, age 60, is a pig, but she really should have been born a rooster. Okay, the year she was born in. I was like, I'm sorry, what? We are, of course, referring to Chinese horoscopes. Vera Wong is a human woman, thank you very much, but roosters have nothing on her. I do think I'm gonna go for Vera Wong. I think this sounds like a lot of fun. And in this one, we follow Vera Wong, who is 60 years old. She loves tea, she loves true crime, and more than anything, she loves to parade around on the internet and look up cases, provide her own opinion, try and help solve cases, even though that's not her job. Except that one day, she walks into her tea shop and she finds a dead body, and she is convinced that the police, of course, is not gonna do a great job. And so who better than a Chinese mother with nothing else to do with her time to solve this murder? And so that's what the book is about. I think it's gonna be a really good time. I think it's gonna be super funny. It's gonna be my first Jessie Sutanto book, even though I do own Dial for Aunties. And so I'm excited. I hope it's really funny. I hope it's a great time, and we'll see about Ms. Vera Wong. So for our 6th prompt, I'm gonna go for have multiple. This one. And this one says, oh, it's long. Book featured in list video. Ooh, that you haven't read. Ooh, a list video that I haven't read. I mean, there's probably a ton of them on my shelves that I've got yet to read that I could for this. The first one that comes to mind is The Gilded Wolves, though I don't know if this is something I want to be reading in January. Well, Sword of Destiny is another one, and I could listen to the audio. Even though I've mentioned a lot of my books in list, I think those are the 2 standouts right now. So I think we're gonna do the exact same thing, and we're going to read the very first few lines of each, and we'll go from there. So for Sword of Destiny, he won't get out of there, I'm telling you, the pockmarked man said, shaking his head with conviction. It's been an hour and a quarter since he went down. That's the end of him. Okay, so somebody is down, maybe out forever. And then for the Gilded Wolves, we have got, once there were 4 houses of France, like all the other houses within the Order of Babel, the French faction swore to safeguard the location of their Babel fragment, the source of all forging power. Forging was a power of creation rivaled only by the I know what I'm going to choose. Everything else be damned. I'm going to be reading The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm really about to do this. Okay, this is scary. I feel like Lord of the Rings Fellowship needs no introduction. I also love that this probably is a better match to my shirt than what you are looking for is in the library is. However, I am gonna go for this one because I'm really excited about it. I've watched the movies countless times and I think this one's gonna be quite exciting. So Lord of the Rings was originally a single installment and yet it ended up being 3 separate parts. But technically it's all a single book, 3 separate volumes. So Fellowship of the Ring is the first one. And in this one, we are set in Middle Earth, and we open the books with the hobbits, particularly the Baggins family. Bilbo Baggins went on many adventures when he was younger, and in this particular saga, we are going to follow his nephew, Frodo Baggins, as he embarks on a journey to stop the evil Lord Sauron from taking over the world and bringing in his evil to Middle Earth. And he will do so with fellow hobbits and elves and wizards and dwarves, and it's the best tale ever, and I have yet to read the books. And the reason why it's called Fellowship of the Ring, it's because our best characters, Gimli, Legolas, Gandalf, Aragorn, Pippin, Merry, Sam, Boromir, and then our good old Frodo embark on an adventure, and it's gonna be so good. Had to turn on my ring light because this rain is getting worse and worse, my friends. But for number 7, we have got, oh, I'm so excited that I'm reading Lord of the Rings in January. I can't believe I told myself. I've been telling everybody in my life too, I'm gonna read Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna read Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna start Fellowship of the Ring. I completely forgot about it. We've got continuous series. Okay, that's like slightly intimidating, but at the same time, I think it's high time. And I think this works out perfectly for the other one that I wanted to put in here that I did not end up putting in here, which is Sword of Destiny. This is the second installment of novellas for the Witcher series before we actually get into the more linear stuff, starting with Blood of Elves. So I'm thinking choosing Sword of Destiny could be a smart one so that we can make even more progress with the series we have got ongoing already. And I have not picked up a Witcher book since 2021, so I think it's high time that I do so. And so in this one, we follow Geralt of Rivia, who is a Witcher, and Witchers are trained their entire lives to hunt down monsters and demons and every single vile creature out there. They are supernatural beings who are able to manipulate some sort of supernatural magical ability to perform their tasks. However, what's so unique about Geralt is that he does have a huge moral compass, I think, in comparison to a lot of other people in this world and maybe other Witchers as well. And so he is sworn off doing anything but his sworn duty of hunting down monsters and evil things. And we follow him in his different travails. And in the particular 2 installments that you're supposed to read first, you follow him in a course of different short stories as he defeats different monsters and meets different people and royalty and stumbles upon the main storyline that's going to go down, again, starting in Blood of Elves. All of the short stories are inspired on different fairy tales, which I think is quite unique, and you wouldn't particularly expect that, I think, from something like The Witcher. I don't know if this is going to be similar or the same in that regard, but I'm excited to give Sword of Destiny a read. I know the audiobooks are quite good, so I think I'm gonna go for Sword of Destiny for that one. A little bit of an unexpected choice. Did not expect myself to pick that one out. I don't know if last prompt I said that it would be my 6th. I think I did, just because I have like 6 physical books on here, but that was my 7th prompt because I just counted them. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7. So I'm missing 1 more prompt and we are done with the TBR for January. And I'm honestly quite happy too with the length of the books because they're not outrageously long. And I think to start out the year, especially if I may or may not be reading during the first week of the year, which I typically don't, I think the length of the books are perfect. We have got, let's choose this one. A middle grade. That is unexpected, actually. I don't know that I was thinking about reading a middle grade at the start of year, and this is also a paper that we have not gotten yet. So a middle grade. Okay, let me just show you the paper and let's see what we can choose. So I've got Kiki's Delivery Service, which I have watched the movie. I didn't love the movie, but maybe Kiki's could be a good one to read at the start of year. I mean, Studio Ghibli vibes are always good for start of year. I also have Frost Heart. The audiobooks are really good. I own the audiobooks. I've yet to read Frost Heart 2. Last Gamer Standing by Katie Zhao could also be a really good one. Ooh, Nevermore could be a good one. I think I'm gonna go for Green Glass House. I got this as a gift last year for my birthday, and I have been wanting to read this book for a while. I'm looking at like all of the other middle grades, and I don't know that anything is particularly jumping out at me like Green Glass House. And I've been told that this is like a John Wick for kids. I don't know how in the world that's gonna happen in this one because it doesn't seem to give off that vibe, but I think maybe because of the hotel aspect, it could show up. I'm not sure. I generally don't know what to expect with this one, but I think everybody that I've seen read this book that is in my life in some way, shape, or form has given this 5 stars. And so I do think this could be a really, really good one for January. This one is set in winter time, so for January, I'd say it fits quite perfectly. And we are set in a smuggler's inn that during this time of year doesn't really have a whole lot of people coming in and out of it. So the adoptive son of the innkeeper, Milo, has his whole wintertime routine figured out because he knows that he's not gonna have to help anything because nobody comes in here, mind you. And then on the very first icy day of winter, the bell starts ringing, and then it rings again and again and again and again. And some strange secretive guests start showing up, and then objects start to go missing, tempers start rising, and so he'll enlist the help of the cook's daughter, Medi, to figure out exactly what's happening in Green Glass House because something like this has never happened before. So I'm excited to read this. I think this is the oddball choice of the bunch where I was not expecting to get a middle grade. Like, this genuinely threw me off kilter, but I still do think the selection looks quite good for the month of January. And then I figured I can just put these 3 books that I didn't end up putting in my TBR as my safeties for the month. So The Gilded Wolves, People We Meet on Vacation, and then Everything I Know About Love, I think are the 3 books I'm going to put on the bottom tier of the TBR card. And if I don't feel like picking any of the others up, I can just pick up these ones and it'll be all good and dandy. So let us go for these ones. I think this is a safe bet. And that is all that I've got for you guys today. That is the TBR for January. I am absolutely loving how the TBR card is looking because I completely emptied it. I am looking to rearrange my bookshelf somewhere in the next few days, and so I need to find a space for all of my other books on these bookshelves. We'll see if I manage it or not, and we'll see exactly what ends up happening. But I hate seeing clutter in my TBR card. I hate seeing clutter in my apartment in general, and so seeing the TBR card be this empty and such a decorative piece, I guess, is so pleasant to my eyes, honestly. So I am loving how it's looking. I love the array of books we've picked out, and I love that 2 of these picks are going to be audiobooks, and then the other ones are going to be read physically. So I'm very excited about that. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let a girl know down in the comments what you're going to be reading for the month of January. Have you made plans? Are you winging it? Are you mood reading? Are you choosing based on prompts as well? What are your vibes for January and for the start of year? I'd love to know. Have you read any of these books? What did you think of these books? Do let a girl know all of that down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this. And if you'd like more content from me, I do have a book club, a Discord server, tons of live shows. Last year we did over 200 live shows over there. And we also have a bunch of other perks and just a ton of fun over on Patreon. That is always linked down below in case you guys want to join and support the channel extra. It's obviously not necessary, but it helps keep the channel afloat if you ever want to support a little extra. So that is always linked down below alongside all of my socials, including my podcast, Talk and Talk, which is currently available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, in case you also want to sub to that, listen to the pod, have a great time with that format too. Love you guys so much. Happy New Year to everybody, and I will see you guys on the flip side.
Goodbye!